What up, y'all? It's your boy, One Sir Grove. Let's just get into it. I'm listening to Rush Limbaugh. I listen to Rush Limbaugh every day. I listen to Mark Levin. I listen to Larry O'Connor. I listen to Chris Plant. They're all on point 100% to a T. Every iota of what they say, what they communicate is 100% accurate. So in that, I'm listening to Rush Limbaugh today. By the way, thank you for tuning in. If you're a fan of this show, if you support this show, man, I appreciate you on behalf of 495. So, Rush Limbaugh, he is an ace analyst in that his commentary, his political, geopolitical analyses, they are, again, spot on. I listen every day. I'm an analyst myself. I've worked in government extensively as a civilian technical specialist, government, civilian defense contractor to the U.S. intelligence community. I spent way too long in college, spent far too much money on 10 years of college off and on for a decade, taking classes off and on for a decade of college. Way too fucking much money, over $100,000 of money to attend college. That said, I studied cybersecurity, counterintelligence, counterespionage. I was at American Military University for a while. I was in the intelligence studies program, security studies, counterintelligence. And my focus was North Korea, South Korea, and Russia with regard to their intelligence services, both domestic and external. So I studied foreign intelligence services, Russian intelligence, Korean intelligence, South Korean intelligence, North Korean intelligence. I studied Korean as a second language, KSL. I taught in a Korean private school off and on for 10 years while simultaneously working as a government contractor, defense contractor to the intelligence community. Started off in law enforcement after 9/11 as a contractor. Had previously been an active gang member in the U.S. on the West Coast, moved to the Midwest, ultimately moved to the East. So in that, I've been around a lot of elite circles of government. I know a lot of people who have worked at the White House. I know a lot of people who have worked on Capitol Hill. I know a lot of people who have been involved in Congress. I know a lot of VIPs, dignitaries. I've been in and out of embassies. I know foreign governments, their agents, their officials. And I'm very well versed in U.S. intelligence community terminology, phraseology, jargon, what have you. So I listen, and my network, we keep watch. We're a watchdog organization. We keep watch. And so Rush Limbaugh, he hit the nail on the head today. And what he was talking about was the following. The unconstitutional Robert Mueller, however you want to pronounce it, Mueller, Robert Mueller, and his unconstitutional witch hunt in America, it needs to not only be investigated immediately, but the individuals who authorized, and again, I am essentially quoting Rush Limbaugh and expounding upon his analysis. I'm just politely adding to his expert analysis. This is something that a lot of folks have not entirely contemplated. The individuals who have masterminded events such as 9/11, whoever they may be, you don't have to be a truther. You can just be someone who just believes that what took place is exactly what the media told you. You can be someone who believes that the media doesn't know, or someone in the media does know because they're government plants, they're moles within our government, which our government has moles in the media, has plants in the media, depending on which faction they're within our government. And they fabricate information and they create a facade. And in terms of individuals who believe that people who believe that things are not exactly the way that the media has portrayed them as being, consider those individuals to be conspiracy theorists. You have those people too. Conspiracy theorists, a lot of times, are actually correct. They're actually right. They actually know exactly what they're talking about. But of course, in the whole geopolitical gameplay of it, in the whole chessboard maneuvering of it, in the whole game theory John von Neumann of it, there is a group out there of individuals who are moles within our government. They are a faction within our government, and they have to paint and cast those individuals in such a light that they appear as if they are kooks, that they're wackadoos, that they are crazy, and that they're lunatics, and that they're maniacs, and that they're mad people, and that the stuff that they talk about is the topics that they discuss, that they talk about, is just nothing but a bunch of nonsense, and that they're tinfoil hat people, and that they're nonsensical, and that they're loony, and that they are essentially the coined phrase, they are conspiracy theorists. So you have government misinformation, disinformation agents working for factions of the government that are against America, and they have to paint certain individuals as conspiracy theorists because that's what people do in those roles in, again, the geopolitical grand scheme of things. So anytime there's something that takes place, an event that occurs, such as the Robert Mueller investigation, people who stand up for the American people and say, hold on, this is unconstitutional. All of this so-called investigation is based on former British spy dossier, and therefore it's unconstitutional. The dossier is fabricated. This is manufactured. This is not a real scenario. This is not a real situation in that Trump did not collude with the Russians. Therefore, there are those who seek to undermine America, to subvert our American government, and attempt a coup against a standing president. You have those who then will come out and say, you're conspiracy theorists, you're nuts, you're nutty, you're wacky, you're crazy, you're loony, you're out of your minds, you're Popeye, cuckoo. You have disinformation agents that are in place to pen on paper, write, thus publish, type, thus broadcast, transmit, disseminate on the internet, social media, across the globe, worldwide, in different segments, pockets of society, that these people who have stood up for themselves to point out these wrongs, to point out, to signal out that these things that are taking place are wrong and that there's something to it and that it is a conspiracy. It is, in fact, a conspiracy. You have disinformation agents lined up to broadcast that those people are conspiracy nuts. That's what these elite circles of society, some of them do. Some of the elite circles of society want to remain elite circles, and the 1%, whatever percentage they constitute, they want to remain in power. And so they have to use their chess pieces to move them around on the grand scheme of things chessboard, as I have mentioned. They have to go after the people who have figured it out and mischaracterize those people by trying to destroy their reputations, by trying to discredit those individuals who have figured out that there is, in fact, a conspiracy at play that has long been in the works. They did the same thing on 9/11. 9/11 did not happen the way that you, the American people, were told that it happened. There is a huge body of evidence that supports the supposition, the proposition, the claim that it did not, that is 9/11, happen the way that the media, in bed with factions within our government, deep state, mole factions within our government, did not happen the way that you were told, sold a story that it happened. Period. There is a tome. There are tomes of amounting to this massive astronomical body of evidence and empirical data supporting the claim that the story that you were told did not happen that way at all, not even close. You cannot make calls from an airplane to your loved ones, to your family members, to your friends at the altitude that the plane was flying when it is said that those passengers, when the media stated, broadcast, that those folks who were said to be on board those planes had made those calls. It cannot happen that way. It is scientifically impossible for that to have happened in that way. There are many other instances in which factions within our government, that is, they are rogue factions within our government, rogue factions within different government agencies, the FBI, CIA, you name it, rogue factions working in concert, working in tandem, working together. They went and they confiscated the evidence, some of it, but not all of it, because it got out. Some of it leaked, some of it was exposed, some of it was uncovered, some of it was unearthed. There's a farmer, people, observers, they said, no, there's no wreckage here. There's no plane that landed here. Look around. When camera crews from the media came and they said that the camera crews, had heard that a plane had crashed. And people who were in that area at that time that a plane supposedly crashed, they said, what are you talking about? That we've been here. We live around here. If a plane had crashed, we would have known that a plane crashed. And so then when camera crews from the media panned their cameras, moved and turned their cameras, rotated their cameras on the axes of it all, when they rotated those cameras, there was no wreckage there of any plane that had crashed or wrecked. Now, you can say that's insanity, you can say that's lunacy, and you can say that's loony and wacky and crazy, and that it sounds like tinfoil hat content, material, subject matter. You can say that people just don't want to believe the truth. That is the truth. That is the evidence that exists, that the story you, the American people, were told and sold is not the truth. Period. Regardless of possibly your belief that people who believe something else took place are crazy. We're not crazy. We have evidence. We have proof to substantiate the knowledge, the information. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. It came from and it comes from human observers, eyes on the ground. But you see, the media wants to distort and spin the truth, distract and deflect, have you look over here as opposed to over there, and believe this story over here as opposed to over there, so you don't really see what's over there. And if you do see what's over there, then you say, what's over there isn't the truth because the media said this is the truth over here. I've got to believe this story. This is the narrative that I have to believe over here. It's clear as day. If you really do the research, you will find that almost none of the story regarding the hijackers, none of it adds up. Almost none of it adds up. It's a facade. It was invented. It was created by some highly sophisticated, ultra dangerous individuals. They used smoke, mirrors, laser beams, i.e., that is the media, psychological operations, warfare, tactics, strategies, all of the aforesaid were and have been, are at work, at play. So in that, they did the same thing. These people who have long been deep state, in our government, deep factions, different elements, different agents, different bad actors, different operators, political operators, all working for these elite families, these different organizations. They did the same thing with the Mueller investigation. They clearly did. By the way, this is a mobile podcast. What they did with the Mueller investigation, and this is what Rush Limbaugh had pointed out, is they used the mechanisms, the levers of our government to authorize a witch hunt. What we need to do, the American people, those of us who represent the true republic that will not be altered, because America is a republic that will not be altered. It is unalterable as an institution, as a nation, as a sovereign nation. It is unalterable. That being said, we, the American people, we need to find out, that is, identify the individuals who authorized knowingly, willfully, as emphasized, they knew that it was unconstitutional. They knew that it equated to a witch hunt, a Nazi, Germany, America, fascist witch hunt, just like anything that you would see in the former Soviet Union in terms of corruption and tyranny, dictatorship, fascism, extreme communism, extreme socialism, extreme Marxism. They're all one and the same. They used the same strategies, the same tactics that were employed during the former Soviet Union, during Nazi Germany, during any campaign in the world, politically speaking, in any country on earth. They use those same communist, fascist, extreme socialist, Marxist tactics to attempt to overthrow our United States government, to depose Donald Trump, to carry out a coup, and to insert their own government with their quasi-government, their made-up facade of a government, their illegally operating government within our government, because it is a rogue faction, because it is a deep state. And we, again, need to find out every one of the individuals, who they are, identify them, and have it be known, make it known. That information is essential. That information is crucial. It is imperative that every one of the individuals who orchestrated, who helped, who assisted, who was complicit and is complicit in carrying out these high crimes of treason, we need to find out who is behind this, every one of the individuals involved, all of their names, all of their roles, titles, positions in government and out of government, people in the media. It's not hard to do. It's not hard for us to coordinate an effort in which to carry out this mission for America, for the American people, for us. It's us. We are the American people. So, in that which I have communicated, disseminated, conveyed, expressed here on this podcast, this is a seriously grave matter. The people involved in the attempted coup against our duly elected sitting president, Donald Trump, they need to be found out. They need to be discovered. They need to be identified, and they need to be arrested. Not just indicted. No long drawn out court cases, as has been the case with the traitor to America, Hillary Clinton, as has been the case with traitor to America, the traitor to America, Obama, Hussein, Barack, and all of the other bad actors, James Comey, Robert Mueller, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, all of them, and the ones who aren't known, not just the pages, not just the strokes, no, all of them. And that is my report to you. That is my report to you, the American people. I am One Sir Grove, OSGOE.